Laying down the very first pass, you want it to be kind of the, hey, how you doing panel. We're gonna just kind of introduce the paint to it with a light coat, okay? So we come in here, get our air flowing, back away, roll the paint on, and your first pass, you should definitely be able to see completely through. You should not be able to obliterate the background with your first pass. Looking for nice even coverage here. And that right there is enough to introduce yourself to the panel. Now that we got that first pass on there, you notice it's very light, very thin. That's important. All your passes should be light. You're going to get a much stronger film strength if you layer up several passes instead of doing 2 or 3 heavy passes. You'll be much more effective to do, say, 4 lighter passes. Okay, time between coats. Sometimes when you're using a paint system, it'll tell you you've got to wait 10 minutes between coats for it to have time to do its little chemical things and really bond and for the reducers to come out of the paint so the pigment really lays down. With auto air, you don't have to do that. It'll air dry in sometimes minutes. Generally though, I like to use a heat gun. You don't have to have heat to cure it in this case, but it really helps. Even though it's a little modelly, you really want that. You should still be able to see through that first pass. And now that it's dried, you'll notice things are finely atomized, although it's still a little blotchy. That's good. You actually want to see through and see that ground coat. Now we'll go ahead and put that second pass on there. This one we want to look for 60 to 70% coverage. So this paint is only, what, a minute, maybe a few seconds old, and it's already ready for the next level. All right, let's go for that third pass. On this, we're looking for trying to get total coverage, or at least pretty close to it. We could put a fourth pass on if we'll need it, but it's better to build up in light layers than heavy layers. So don't get too crazy with it ever. All right, here we go. I'm just watching that fan pattern, staying back, overlapping maybe 50%, maybe 60% if I'm not getting the kind of coverage I want. All right, that's our result from the third pass. I think that's a beautiful finish. Look how nice and even that is. Notice the paint's extremely well atomized, perfect sheen everywhere, all equal color, no blotchiness. This panel's ready to go. All right, we've taken that panel now and I've masked off a strip out of the center and I've sprayed sealer white, which is 4001 sealer white on one panel. I've left the sealer dark showing in the center, and then I've put a coat of 4340 metallic midnight blue over here. And then all this white you see on the panel is actually auto mask. I've cut this on my plotter so that there's graphics covering some of these areas. And now I'm gonna paint this whole panel with Sparklescent Nightmare Blue, and we'll see the effect that different base coats have on a pearl. You know, you're really going to get your most luminosity out of using the white as a base. You're going to get really fast coverage by using black as a base. You get a little bit more depth and dimension out of your candy pearls if you use a metallic base underneath them. Okay, we have our panel prepped. We have the 3 colors on there. The next process is to tack it off real good with the tack rag. So I'll just wipe this thing down. You know, you want an immaculate surface to make sure that when you paint, that you don't have any trouble with lint and dust and things like that. Okay, I'm about midway through building the color that I'm looking for here. The Sparklescent colors are all candy and pearl, and if you're going to really use those colors, they're very transparent, so you got to build them up in layers. And you want to, just like any candy, you want to build them up slowly. It may take 6 to 10 coats even sometimes, but an average probably 5 or 7 coats. All right, I've achieved the color I was looking for now. It took me, in this case, about 7 coats to do it. Your coverage may vary depending on the color you're painting over and the color that you're actually spraying with. So spray until you're happy. You'll see that the difference in the 3 different colors is quite evident. Notice here at the very top that the white base is much more luminous. It's a real light color, much lighter than the middle color or the bottom color. Now, I know it looks really flat right now and it probably doesn't really pop and look beautiful. That's because it doesn't have the clear on it. Let's see what that clear looks like now. Okay, the results really speak for themselves. That and that are the same. The only difference being this has been cleared, and I didn't demask the lettering on this one all the way yet, as you can see. But I've taken the masking off, revealing the base colors that are underneath and showing what the top coats look until they're cleared. You know, just remember, it's going to be flat looking until you get that beautiful clear on there. Once the clear gets on there, though, wow, these things just come alive. All right, in order to move on to the next section, which is going to be about